get all the way over there. Here, we can give you this shirt. Very corner, Bob.
All right.
Okay, be there in a minute.
Okay.
I don't get a nameplate.
Just kidding. Well, no, I guess not. I'm looking. Sorry.
I just didn't expect it. Guess that's my chair because there's not a nameplate there.
How's the bar business going?
It's been a terrible summer.
Well, you were doing remodeling too, weren't you?
Well, I did most remodeling last year on the patio, but it was a waste of my money. I spent $50,000 back there. Maybe, I don't even think I made money back there this year.
Really?
It rained all in the beginning. And after the rain, it got hot for 2 weeks, extremely hot. I might have had 2-3 good weeks.
Well, you got an ideal place because you got shade back there.
Yeah, in the evening, yes. Yeah. That's what I thought. Time will tell.
Well, you'll get it after
Yeah, hopefully they do Riverwalk real soon.
How much boat traffic do you get?
I don't get that much. I don't have any piers.
Well, there's where you should invest a little.
Well, here's the thing. They want, the state wants $4,000 as a permit fee.
Is that
I'm
every
not sure
year
I
or is it
understand.
just,
What's that?
is that just for putting it in? Or?
No, that's, yeah, just a permit fee. That's not the cost of the piers. And then the piers are another $10,000-$12,000. So, you're spending, $15,000 on the light side. I don't know if I'll make that up in the 5 seasons.
Well, there's no question. The government's out of control of this country.
Well, I don't disagree with that totally. I mean, I agree with it in many ways. I just,
Especially in the state of Illinois.
yeah, I wrote my state senator a letter, but you can't give me any break on that fee. But I thought I'd try. I try.
That's the coastal supervisor.
You know, if you want, I can move Jim Condon over here.
And they put it right in the middle. Too funny. What are your crutches, man?
They're under the chair.
Oh, I see.
No matter where I put them, I'm tripping people up. That's the safest place.
I didn't notice them. Morning. You must have had your operation, huh? I can see.
Huh?
You had your operation, I
Yeah.
can see.
Yeah, went really well.
He's
What's
dog
your-
bitten.
What happened there? What do you?
I had arthritis, kind of ate up all the cartilage out of my big toe. So it was fixed, it wouldn't bend up at all. So they had to cut that, there's a big bump that built up behind it, so they had to shave that off and then clean out the whole thing, put an implant in there. But it was fine. I mean, I had no pain. I woke up in recovery.
Morning.
And the only thing is, this is cumbersome, but
As long as you're healing good,
and then
that's all that counts.
trying to walk on crutches. Because if I don't have this on, then I have a surgical shoe on. And, just be careful not to bump it. Wait, he's got like, I'm not exaggerating, the incision's about this long. There's gotta be 50 staples in there. It looks like a zipper. there's one right next to the other one. So I'm not gonna have much of a scar, which I give a shit, it's on my foot. Like, but I heard they're not too pleasant on coming out, which is Thursday. So. We'll see.
The main thing is you don't have an infection, and
Well, yeah, that,
it's a dangerous fact now, you know that.
yeah, I know, it goes to the heart. Oh, that's all right. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going.
It's okay with you, Dan?
Yeah. Who is that? Oh, nobody's gonna see it, but yeah, that's fine. If you're gonna do it.
Hey, you don't know who's out there.
That's right.
You think they're gonna do it in a, there's a marker in that plastic
I'm
tub?
just, you know what, I'm just doing this unless what you did.
Fine.
I appreciate your thought.
Okay. Yeah, good one, too. Okay, good ones.
While you were gone, I was telling John I've never sat since coastal supervisor.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's not a big thrill, Bob.
Oh, I'm shutting my mouth. Is Jim coming out here?
Jim's gonna be in the audience,
Oh, okay.
I think, I don't know.
I see what he looks at.
You can have input.
Yes, he can. I thought it was cute.
What's it take for us three to go into executive session?
Pardon me?
What's it take for us three to go into executive
You
session?
have to be, you can't.
I was just gonna say, I didn't think you could.
Just trying to lighten up the conversation.
Don't make my life any harder.
I would.
About 5 minutes.
Is there an agenda for today?
Yeah.
Here, can you get it?
Looks like they're getting around.
Suppose you didn't sign in.
No.
Yeah, it's amazing, this loop, the design on this thing, it takes all the weight off the front part of your foot. It puts it all on the heel. You walk like nothing's wrong.
Does that mean we need two boots?
The what?
Does it mean you need another boot?
Yeah.
You read that right, didn't you?
I get enough of that.
I had my days of wearing boots.
I thought I lost my stupid pen the other day. Some other $300 pen. My dog's looking for the bone. She finds my pen in the back. Fell out of my bag.
See, that's why I don't own for I lose it the first day.
Boy, you know when I thought I lost it? You know when I first went on Google? Mon I was gonna get another one. I got two of these.
That's $300 pen?
Write something like that. Let's see.
Think it popped.
Pull it.
Oh. See, I don't know how to function with
Neither
it.
would I.
Does that have ink for life?
No, the refills for it's like $23.
No,
It
Jesus.
doesn't go smooth.
He must not have any
It's
kids.
a roller ball. It's
Yeah.
like right
Oh, yeah,
where the
that's
fountain
good.
comes.
My daughter just woke up her this week.
You're gonna have to have it.
She said, "Jennifer, no, it's my girl."
Can you add anything to that? It goes out?
Probably over
Yeah,
here.
right.
A cartridge.
It's a special.
You can still use it. Okay.
It's a special cartridge.
Okay.
But these are, for two of them, it's $23.
Doesn't go smooth.
My granddaughter wrote a novel, and it was a contest. You had to write 50,000 words, you had 60 days to do it, and she ended up doing it in 30 days, so she won an award.
Got the camera started.
Part of the thing was, because I had another one, and I was telling her about it, that was like $400 time.
They said the tax, I wanted to make sure you're.
And part of it, she says, and the FBI agent pulled out his Mark One, his $400 Mark One, and I laughed. Kid is so talented. And we did.
1 minute.
So it is.
On that school board meeting, our blood pressure was delayed.
She's always knows.
She said, "Oh, are you cranky?" I read something in the minutes about it. The whole board was really. Our meeting started at 6:45. I was the only one there on time. That meeting was in the budget. I just
Should be there in a minute.
It's in the, I said, make sure this gets in. It's late.
Call it, this committee meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Jim, sign in, please. Sign in.
Okay, this is a committee meeting to look at a possible Mchenry Township cost study analysis. So first, do we have any public comment to begin with?
Jim Condon.
Turn that on, Jim. Just, it's not on, I don't.
No?
Okay. I was unaware of the committee until Craig said something, I think, last week. I think it's completely inappropriate to not include the road district as part of the committee. Our budget is actually larger than the township's, and to not involve the road district seems ludicrous to me. So I'd suggest that you add probably myself to the committee. I think it's crazy not to have the input of the road district. So, that's my comment.
Okay. We don't have any previous minutes. So we're going to move the new minutes to discussion of this. We would have to create a request for proposal to conduct a study and send it out for bids, because I'm sure it'll come in at over $20,000, so we would have to bid it. I would be happy to prepare something to that avenue. So discussion.
Well, before we start the discussion, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be part of this committee.
You're welcome.
I guess I have a couple questions
Sure.
on the type of study we're going to do.
Okay.
Because if, road district's a good example.
Okay.
If all the drivers are going to be dispatched out of Woodstock versus Mchenry, there's a cost involved. And is it going to include that type of, are we just going to say, hey, the drivers are going to be paid the wages out of the county versus the township, or do we account for the time travel distance to cover our roads?
Obviously, there's gonna be some variables in the study, we'd probably have to, ask them to come in with 2 or 3 different scenarios probably, because we don't know, maybe if the county took over, they would keep this bill and there wouldn't be travel, but there would be increased wages, obviously, those would have to be included. So, Mr. Anderson, you have any thoughts?
Yes. My feeling of this meeting would be is that we'd come up with ideas of who we want to have the study and go from there. I think that we certainly have to, as a committee, we have to come into a recommendation to the board to follow up on that, John, at some time. But the first thing I think, and I've got a couple of things to say, what I think we should start looking into. But to me, the goal of today would be to at least hopefully come up with whoever we could look to, come up with an independent study and go from there.
And I agree with you, I know we have one from before, I think it was Northern Illinois University, which would be fine for one. But we're gonna have to send this bid out to more than one entity. So I was thinking, maybe Northwestern, maybe, University of Wisconsin or University of Michigan. So we gotta get 3 or 4 or 5 packages out there at least, so we get some quotes. If only one person quotes later on, that's fine, but we gotta get, we gotta send at least, I'd say 5 packages out, so. And then we have to publish it in the paper too for anybody that might wanna chime in.
And what kind of a time frame would that be?
Well, that's why I'm talking about, what time frame would it be? Well, I'd have to write the specs, which take me about a week probably. We could always have a special meeting to approve them, I suppose. And then we're gonna have to allow 30 days for somebody to bid. So.
Because since the question's on the ballot, I don't think that, as you know, I was hoping that we'd have this question on the ballot for the presidential election, but now the petition is supposed to be on the March primary election, so it would certainly be a goal of mine to get this back before the election.
It would be my goal too. I guess I don't know what the possibility of that is. We'd have to talk to the people that bid.
I won't know until we do it.
Right.
But I'm just saying, from my point of view, and I think John,
Yeah, I agree with that.
that we should try to get up to the point where we can get something back before the election.
I would totally agree. So I guess, so I've answered that question. We've got to send it out to 3, 4, 5 people.
I did talk to.
And we would certainly send it out to the one, because I've had them in here before, they were interested.
Well, Mike had a suggestion, he might want to give it himself, I don't know.
Okay.
I did talk to Steve here. This is the one, I've had this card from Northern Illinois since probably 2015, when we were involved to try and get the 17 townships combined down to 8 townships. And the county board at that time was gonna move forward if they never did. So
Right.
I would think this would be somebody we should ask.
No, I definitely.
Is this the one you?
Yes, I definitely agree. We had her in here, if you remember, when you were first on the first year of the board for a presentation.
Right.
So we would certainly send them a package.
Right, okay. And then Steve here brought up the Better Government Association.
I don't know if they'd be independent, in my opinion.
What?
Well, I'm.
Yes,
I'm just, that he brought that up.
Mr. Conlon can have a comment, because.
First off, is there any discussion on whether the road district will be involved in this, or there will be any input from the road district, and will the road district become part of the committee, given the fact that it's the majority of the budget as it is?
I have no problem with the road district being part of the committee, Mr. Anderson.
I do,
He does, okay.
I do.
Well, in that case, but
Why would
there's,
that
Yeah,
be?
if he was at the last meeting, he would have known that we had this set up.
he was gone.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, I honestly say I don't. I mean, I do not see a problem with allowing Jim to be part of the committee. But that's just my view.
I don't either, so,
Then he's on the committee.
okay, you're on the committee, Jim, so,
It's not worth arguing about.
not worth arguing about, so you're on the committee?
Can I have a point of order?
Yes, you may.
Since it's not a big crowd.
Mhm.
If there's things that we can contribute out here.
You can, and today, you certainly can, I will allow
rather
that,
than
because
having
it's,
to wait for-
oh, I agree, just raise your hand and we'll let you contribute. Okay, Jim, if you want to join us, go right ahead, but we would certainly include you anyway somehow, so.
And I agree to that too.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to include it,
So-
because you're the budget, so.
The next thing that you guys were talking about is, people to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I would strongly recommend that you find an organization or a place that doesn't have any bias. And I think anybody or any institution from the state of Illinois would have a bias. And I think that you ought to look toward perhaps you had mentioned the University of Wisconsin, any other organizations that don't have any influence. It's obviously a very hot political issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we need to do everything we can to take that part out of it and to have the state of, even Northern Illinois for that matter, who's already expressed their opinions. From what I recall, it's been quite a while since I've read them, they've expressed their opinions and I think their conclusions are already drawn. I think you need a neutral party to do something. So I would strongly recommend, like you had mentioned somebody like the University of Wisconsin or somebody that doesn't have ties directly to Illinois and that organization, that situation, the political arena.
There is some truth to that. The Illinois legislature or the governor has control over Illinois universities' budgets. You have an objection that we,
My goal would be to have it as independent as possible.
okay,
Certainly, you said we got to send it out to at least, what, three?
at least three.
At least three, okay.
And the other comment that I want you is you don't necessarily have, this is a professional consulting. This is not something that would have to necessarily go out to bid. I understand getting proposals from a couple, there's no doubt about that, but realize that this isn't,
It
like
isn't,
when you
but
hire an attorney or you hire a consulting firm or something like that, that's what this is a professional.
Mr. Pennant is correct, but for this kind of money, I would want it to go to bid.
And I agree with
Yeah.
that.
It's not necessarily a bid though, it would be a
Request for proposal,
request for
services.
qualifications.
Okay, that's fine.
Amount still.
I mean, we may only come back, we have,
We may only
come back.
Yeah.
Who knows what people are doing out there right now?
Now,
We're not waiting for us.
there is one
What's that?
more,
They're not waiting for us.
No.
But when we come up with this, somebody, they don't know we're dealing with this. At this
Correct.
point. Yeah.
the other possibility is, and I don't know how everybody feels about this, is you could go to, I believe, an independent CPA firm that isn't associated with the county in any way, shape, or form, maybe out of Chicago or something. Or it'd have to be non-politically associated, to do some type of independent study. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a university, although I feel the university would be the most unbiased. So, something we could look at, throw in the mix if we want.
Do you want to bring up the firm that you mentioned me, Mike? Or do you want me to bring it up? Or do you want to just, you kind of agree here that we maybe should go out of state? Let me know what you're thinking. Go ahead.
The Illinois Policy Institute.
Absolutely not. I feel the Illinois Policy Institute is biased. I would not use them.
Why is it? What qualifies them as biased?
But look at who they get their funds from, Mr. Rauner, most of them.
With who?
They got most of their funds from Rauner and certain political people. That's who funds them.
And they've expressed their political opinions on
They've
this.
expressed many political opinions. I don't think they would be appropriate.
Neutrality is what we're looking for.
We're looking for neutrality.
All five of us or six of us sitting here just want the truth. We just
Right.
want the truth. Does it make sense or doesn't it make sense? And if it makes sense, we're all on board with it. If it doesn't make sense, we don't want to proceed with it. It's that simple.
We just want something neutral. And I don't feel they're neutral from comments I've seen from them and from who funds them. There's political funding there. That creates an issue for me.
What I'd like to see, at least though, when we come back to report on the board on Thursday, at least put that name out, at least we came up and discussed it. I mean,
Sure.
I think we should at least put down when we come here for a meeting on Thursday, everything that we discussed here.
That's fine.
Ultimately, who's gonna decide which group we go with? Is it gonna be the board or this committee?
It'd be the board.
Well,
The board can have a recommendation.
We will make a recommendation to the board, it will
The
be up
board
to
should make a
We'll
recommendation,
be up to
and
the-
the board will vote on it.
the board. Will vote on this. And I just feel it's very,
Well, let me ask you, since it involves the road district, and is the board gonna fund the whole thing, or are we gonna split this, something like a 50-50 with the road district, or how would best, I don't know that the board should have, the township should have the full burden of the cost, given the fact that the funds breakdown is over 50% of the road district. So, should we split it up, should the bill be paid half and half between the road district and the township? That being the case, I think that it's important that the township has a say in that too, that it's not just the board who decides on it. Because let's be honest, we know we have 3 members of the board that look one way and 2 members that look another way. That provides some imbalance right there. So I think if we do a proposal, it should include the road district and the road district approval on that. And the road district should pay its fair share, 50% or so. If that makes sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like all kinds of things, of peripheral things, whether you, because it always comes down to a voting type situation, Jim. And certainly you said that out there, but I think that our goal here is to do the best we can as a committee to come up with what the committee thinks is an independent group and bring that out and the board makes the decision on that.
yeah, I think.
The funding part of it, I didn't even think about that yet. That's a little bit down the road for me.
Say that this committee should come up with a recommendation, and we would hope that the board would approve that recommendation, that we would find the most neutral group possible. I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Illinois Policy Institute comes up and you guys all vote for that, I'm voting no, and that's not gonna be a neutral study for me. And then, you know,
But-
all our efforts are out the door as far as I'm concerned.
But the point is, if they vote for that, they automatically will have that.
I understand that, but then that to me biases the whole study, and I would certainly strongly yell from the rooftops that it's a biased study at that point. And I don't think that's our purpose, and I don't think that's your purpose.
It is not my purpose at all.
Okay.
Then why not make it balanced? Why not include a vote of the road commissioner for the proposal so that we have to come to, what it does is it provides balance and we have to come to an agreement.
Okay. First one, Mr. Khan, I don't think that's even, we have to consult with the attorney, I don't believe that's even possible by the statutes.
I would fight that.
We're gonna have to consult the attorneys, I don't think that's even.
Why would you be
Jim,
against?
you're
Why would you be against
politicizing the
that?
whole thing.
What?
You are politicizing the whole.
No,
By adding yourself, you're
It-
politicizing.
It's politicized already. Do not kid
Correct.
yourself. Do not think anything else. We have 3 board members. Let's be honest. We're mature men here.
True.
We have 3 board members that are gonna vote one way. They're gonna vote together. Let's be honest. They're gonna decide, unless we put something in there, they're going to decide who does the study. And listening to our conversation here, I don't have faith, based on past discussions, that it will be neutral. So let's make it neutral. Let's force the issue that we all have to come up with a fair way of doing it, so that we have balance. That's all we're looking for. There's nothing wrong with that. And why would you
How
even
about-
hesitate to disagree with that?
How about this? What if, and I will consult the attorney, I don't know if we can legally do that, we can't do that at a board meeting that I'm aware of. But what if this committee comes up with this committee recommends 2 possible bodies to do this study, and brings that back to the board. And then the board would have to decide out of those 2. I think between all of us, we can come up with 2.
Then that would, if we come up with 2, then the board, then this committee is gonna actually make a recommendation.
The committee is recommending either or.
Either or.
So
Uh,
what's the purpose of the committee if we're going to, we would come up with a recommendation, okay? We would come up with a recommendation, it goes to the board, and the board votes no to that recommendation. They don't want to use that. That can very easily happen.
Yeah, that's correct.
You are correct, and I think that needs to be,
And that's the way government works.
it needs to be made known, and,
I mean, that's exactly why I asked the question earlier.
right.
But I also think, Jim, that this is going to be a newsworthy event, and I don't think the three members you're talking about, I think that they would be looking for, you know, for something that
What-
is
so what would be
the
the-
most independent study for everybody and
What would
see how
be-
this goes.
what-
I think the argument, the big argument would come down further on, what do we want to get in that study? But I think, let's take the first step first and see if we can't come up soon of who we can send the bids out to.
Okay, but before we go any further with that, what would be your objection to including the road district to balance out the board? What would be the objection to that?
My objection to that is probably going back to the last election, Jim, and it's one of the things that I've always had a problem, with many problems the township government set up, is that you really don't have a board, but now you want to be part of the board. This, to me, the way this is set up, the road district is not part of the board that governs the business. Once the board passes the levy and the budget, that's in your hands totally.
I don't
If you would have supported a situation before of having the road district, involved where the vote would have put it in the board, it would have been part of a board type situation there, but no, you're separate. And I don't see at any time.
Yeah, but now you have a board, made up of three people, and those three people control that board. And you don't put it anywhere other way, that's the facts. Why are you afraid of balancing it out so that we can come up with, that's what government's supposed to do. We're supposed to make compromises. This is how it's supposed to work. We're supposed to be balanced. Why not balance it out and have that worked out? Why leave any doubt? Then there's no, well, yeah, but it was rigged from the start. Why not get rid of it? How does it hurt? Why does it cause a problem? It's one vote, it's one additional vote to where everybody has to then compromise. Why is that a problem? Everybody has to come to an equal
Okay.
basis unless you have some ulterior motive. There's no reason not to do it.
Okay. Mr. Khan, I understand you, and I don't necessarily disagree, but we're gonna have to run this past the attorney first to see if it's even a possibility. I don't know that it is. That's why your inclusion on the committee is important, as you said. But I'll run that by the attorney, we can come back to that later. I can't answer that question, so.
You can go from there.
And go from there. In the meantime, would this committee like me to put together some type of bid package or quotation, request for services, or whatever we want to call it?
Well, I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, and why don't I start to put some things together? Why don't we schedule another meeting for this committee to look at that then, as soon as we can?
I think Bob already has a list of things that he definitely would want, right? You want to share those? I think, were you?
Well, yeah, if we want to share now what we want in
Make
this.
sure that it's included.
I'm not prepared for this. I got certain ideas, okay?
Okay.
My goal today, Jim, is to get this going. Find out who we can get out to, the time frame, okay? And get it back before the election, okay? And then, and go from there.
If we don't lay out specifics, I'll leave it with bid on it.
Well, I think we have to,
Why don't I do this? Why don't you allow me, unless you've got some suggestions right now, I've got some ideas. Let me put some ideas together on a sheet of paper, and can we meet next week again to look at that sheet of paper?
yes.
And then we can decide if that's palatable to all of us, or we can add, subtract, whatever to that. And then hopefully, the following week, then we can get this package out and get some bids back. Or quote, services for us. For services.
I'll meet anytime you want to get it moving.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
fine with that.
And I think that for Thursday night, the meeting, I think, because it's going to be on the agenda, I think you can very easily put out that we've met, we're doing this, and announce the next meeting, and that we're looking to get this moving.
As fast as we can.
Results before the election. I think it's really important to get out the public that,
I,
no matter which side you're on this issue, I think it's important to see where these numbers are.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
When is, I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on a petition that's been filed?
Yes.
I can make clarity
Put
with
it
that.
on.
No, it's not, under board member or committee member comments, I can comment that the electors turned in a petition here to Mchenry Township of over 1,000 signatures to put this question on the ballot on the March election. I know it also had to be filed with the county board chairman, it was, and also with the county clerk, it was. I can tell you the reason I didn't say anything to anybody was we were trying to verify signatures here to see if it was even valid. And the clerk, can you comment on that? I believe we had 802 signatures that were verified.
I don't know the exact number, but it was close to 1,000, yeah.
No, 1,000 were turned in, but I know
It
we,
was over 800.
yeah, over 800 that were verified for sure. So
So it's going to be on the ballot and what?
This is, they have a story in the paper.
it'll be on the ballot on March
You missed the
17th.
story?
I mean, I can't comment
When
on
was
it
it
if
in
you'd
the
like me
paper?
to.
What?
I can't comment on it if you'd like me to. I talked to Jack Fraser on Friday. Can I talk about it, or?
Yeah, you may, under
He
comments.
told me he handed it over to the state's attorney to look at. That's last I know.
And I will have to talk to our attorney, but I believe it's not up to the township. I believe, I'm not positive, but I think it's up to the county clerk to decide if this is valid.
The question I have on this is this official so that the public can get copies of it?
Of the petition?
Yes, it's filed.
Oh, we can give you copies. You can-
So I'd like to have a copy of them today, or as soon as you get it.
Well, it's gonna take, there's
I know.
hundreds of pages, so.
No, as soon as you, I'd like to get a copy as soon as you want it from me.
He wants a copy of the entire petition, correct?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want a copy,
Yeah, that's what he wants.
I want a copy of what was filed.
That's fine.
You probably have to fill out a FOIA though, just to make it up.
No, he's board member.
No,
We can have
I
it.
don't.
We can have it.
No.
I have it.
You know what, we may have it in a PDF, if we're not, can we email it to you? Will that open on your
No, I'd
computer?
rather have it.
Okay, fine.
I
I'd rather have
can, we
it.
have the whole thing, I can just make a copy of it, take a few
Okay,
minutes.
fine, he'll make a copy for you later.
Yeah, okay, very good. Okay, thanks.
Yes, Mike?
I'm thinking that if we're doing this study, we have to have a time frame of when that would be available to the public. So we have to work in reverse, basically. The 17th, how much time does the public have to look at this and make sure that they've studied it and all this stuff? So then we have to go back, do we go back a month, 6 weeks, from the election to now? And then once we've established what that period is where the people can study this thing, how long does it take to get the study into their, or get the request into their hands, get it done, and get it back to us? So we have to really basically work in reverse.
No, I understand what you're saying. We can ask whoever's gonna conduct the study that we need it completed by,
March, you have to have it completed by the middle of January. If you need 6 weeks, because you would want 6 weeks
I agree.
for it to circulate.
okay?
That's- I don't
And
know.
I'll be
I
honest
don't know
with
if
you.
it's possible, it's gonna be.
I don't know if it's possible, that's
Some of
the,
them it is, that's the problem.
that's the problem. I don't know, this is, we can ask for that, and then, I don't, we're already in October.
But,
If we can get it out by the end of October, and it's November, it only gives it 2 months. We might look at the end of February, maybe, that gives us, well, not the end of, middle of February? I don't know, we have to ask the parties that bid what they think their timeframe can do this in.
well, I think that, I'll meet anytime you want to keep this going.
Okay.
We don't have to wait for a Monday, I'll take some time off during the week.
It's gonna take me a good week to write
Wait,
this,
okay, well, I
so.
know, whenever you
I
just call
understand,
me,
I understand.
John, you're
Yeah, I'm
flexible,
fine.
we can meet almost any time,
Okay.
even if I gotta take time off
So,
to move this at your pace.
so, okay, let's say right now, give me a week to write specs,
Okay.
some type of specs, yes.
Why wouldn't it be possible for you to make some calls and find out what a time frame from them would be?
Because they're not gonna be able to give me a time frame until I'm able to tell them exactly what they want done.
Yeah,
You know,
we have,
you kind of know what we have to have done. Just basically just say, am I in the ballpark if we get you this week, in ballpark to get this done by the middle of January?
I don't feel comfortable with that. I want specs because I don't want them to misunderstand it. I convey something to them that this committee or the board doesn't want. It's not gonna take me a week to write the specs. We'll be back here next week. We can decide.
That's a big step to get
Yeah,
that done. See
that's-
what's in there, Mike, and then we can go over, agree or disagree,
I'd
add
rather-
different things.
Right, I don't wanna tell them something that's not correct and then we find out that
Right.
we changed the specs and that's gonna be way out anyway, so. And we may find out that, I don't know what we're gonna find out. We gotta do the specs first. That's first thing we
There's
gotta
a
do.
chance it might not come back before the election, we don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We certainly
Our
wanted
goal is to
to.
get it back.
Right.
We discussed that.
The only other thing I want to point out is I don't want to, how do we put this? A haphazard study done for time purpose, you know what I'm
I
saying?
agree,
Okay.
totally agree, John.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If we miss the deadline, we miss it, that's the way things work.
Right.
I mean, we're going to strive to meet the deadline.
It is what it is.
Right, okay. Okay, fair enough.
The only other question I had, sorry, Dan, are we allowed to email back and forth ideas?
We are a committee and we cannot vote, so yes, we can.
Is a question, can we, in other words, I have a question, I can email Craig, I can email Bob, again, the same time.
Oh boy, well, let me check with the attorney on that also, I'm not sure.
What was your question, John?
If we can email amongst each other with different ideas, in other words, can I do some research in a college, I could do the study, can I email Bob that college name and Craig?
You know what you can do? You can email me and then I can certainly email Bob, that I know for sure.
Okay,
Why don't we do it that way?
And Jim,
And Jim.
okay,
And Jim, obviously.
Yeah, and Jim.
Right.
sure.
Why don't you make me the lead and then I'll pass them on individually. How's that? That I know we can do. All right, so with that, I think our decision is, go ahead, Dan, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say to keep in mind that there's certain things that we have time frames, like if it goes out to bid, and it's, you have to have it out for, I believe, 30 days. So,
Well, yeah, we do, so that's why we're trying to get it done as fast as we can, so, you know, we can get it done in October, it would be back sometime in November, so. And then, we could have a special board meeting, because we need to hurry this along to vote on who's gonna do it. And then, hopefully we can have that done by November sometime. That gives them a good 2 months to see what can be accomplished.
But there's really nothing we can do now until we wait on Greg to
Right.
put that together.
I know,
And then go from there.
okay.
As far as I'm concerned,
That's-
we're gonna see what you come up with there.
That's, I would
We go from
agree.
there.
You agree, John?
Yeah, that's fine, the only thing I was sitting there thinking about, do we go through this whole process and we find out, let's say, 2 months from now, that there's no way to get it done by the end of February? Do we continue with the process, or we just,
I say we continue.
that was my question,
And I say we continue it with the goal of getting it done before the election. It's out of our hands.
Right.
But if not,
But that's why it isn't that you guys filed, the petition filed, it's there. In a sense, I don't like it, but it's a good thing though, because it moves things forward.
well, I don't think,
So,
well, we're gonna agree with whoever does this on some type of timeline, so.
but definitely at that time, right.
So then,
We're gonna ask for it.
right, so then, we can decide at that time if we're moving forward or we're gonna stop, I guess. 'Cause
well, I guess that's why I asked the
Yeah.
question.
Because I think it needs to be done anyways, but.
Okay. When do you, so are we gonna wait till you get that done before you call another meeting?
I'll call the meeting right now, can we make I'll make a motion to have another meeting next Monday. What is the date next Monday, the 14th, is that right?
yes.
The 14th at 9:30 again, right here.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, first and second, all those in favor, signify. Aye, all ayes, no nays. Okay, we'll have, and I'll have some specs written for that meeting, and then we'll add or subtract and come up with the specs at that meeting, that will be our goal.
And then I think we should, forward,
Go ahead.
Virginia, of what we'd like to see in there.
Yes, if you would like certain things,
If there's things that we want in that we don't see what you put in there, I think we need to.
you know, and I'm also not opposed, if you have some ideas now, email them to me now, you know, the next day, by tomorrow night, if you've got some ideas, to make sure I'm gonna include them, so we save some time, you know what I'm saying?
I'll do that.
Okay, you too, John?
Yeah.
You too, Jim?
I second it.
Okay, first and second, so you'll send me ideas in the meantime, so I can include them in the specs by the end of the day tomorrow, so. If not, I'll proceed without, on my own, so.
I'm with you.
And Jim, you'll do the same, so. All right,
All
with,
in favor?
all in favor, say
Aye.
aye. we're all in favor of that, so good. There are no nays. All right, if does committee members have any other comments at this time? No? Okay, good. Public, Mike, or Jim? Well, Jim's on the committee now, so Mike, do you have any comments right now?
I know that the calendar's really up against our back, but I do think that there would be a nice thing that would happen if we could interview these people that we want to do this, so that we have a little bit more understanding of where they're coming from.
Oh, you know, Mike, you're absolutely correct. So once the bids come in, we would call them in and interview them, and then the committee can interview them, or, yeah, I said the committee would interview them, and then come back with one or two recommendations. I agree with you. You want to talk?
I agree with it too.
Yes, good idea. Okay. Any other public comments? None being said, motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion adjourned.
No, I'll second it.
Time it is, what, 10:03?
10:03.
I'll second it.
Second, that. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? None being heard, meeting's adjourned. We'll have another meeting next Monday at 9:30.
Well done.
Committee meeting.
He's ahead.
Just hold on.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
So I'll wait to get the copies then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get them the copies.
Just left these lines right there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get it done.
Oh, wait, wait. They didn't like it. I'll go, you get that. I'm going to John, you're going to pick it up here.
That's my thinking for you. You have much work, better working relationships than I have ever had with most people. Let's get started. And make it with time. And see if we can make it work. And I'd be much more interested in all of it. I would have go there. I'm using the bus, I don't want to make you pay for it. I've got other things. Okay, now you want to know why it's over present? Because I didn't want to extend that season for another 3 months.
Okay, so why not vote no? Why vote present?
Because I'm not necessarily in favor of everything, I just want it. I
But
didn't
it
want
was just a no vote. That's all it was. It was a no vote. Why did you say present?
No.
When it's just a no vote? That's all it
because we were
is.
gonna vote in November, and that was already established. There's nothing I can do to change that. I can feel it's feeling, but I wasn't gonna extend that for another December, January.
Why didn't you just vote no?
Because there's nothing I can do to change the precedent, and I wasn't gonna add another 3 months.
But voting no stopped that from happening. It was the same as,
Well,
no. And what was the purpose of
It
the
was
rest?
calculated because I didn't want to extend it 3 months.
The no vote did the same thing.
Okay, but the reason was, is because you already had established November,
violating the open meetings act. I was gonna ask you a question. If they put on the referendum, or if they put a non-binding referendum on the ballot, because there was talk about circulating that for the bus service, would the citizens want the bus service? The citizens voted to have the bus service. Would you re-implement the bus service?
What was that?
If there was a
You
vote.
know how there's, the electorate can put a petition on the ballot, a non-binding, petition on the ballot
What
about the
petition?
bus service, about the bus service.
Non-binding.
They can put a non-binding, referendum, not a petition, referendum. They can put a non-binding referendum, what,
There is a referendum.
for the bus?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know if that had been submitted or not, I heard talk about it.
no, it's in there, it's from back now.
Okay, so if it passes,
You can start reading the paper. Go ahead.
too many things.
You didn't even know that, go ahead, go ahead.
I would
So,
be, personally, I can tell you how I feel, that hasn't changed, it still hasn't.
so if the voters come back and tell you that they want, if that's what the referendum says, and I'm finding, that they want it, are you still gonna vote no for it?
First of all, it's not a fair question, you're a very good question, and I want to answer that question right now. I'm not even interested. My hope would be that the voters vote out the whole thing.
The whole township, you mean?
Yeah, I hope that we win it. I hope, that, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's all. I still got a problem with the whole township with non-managed services. Anyway,
Well, that's true, I have that problem.
so,
It's unfortunate that position puts everything in the county's hands, and the county's hands is,
listen, I understand what you're
that's
saying.
just the wrong road for so many reasons. So why would you want to support that?
I'm not here to answer the question. I'm not here to debate it.
Okay.
I want to get my call, get my petitions, and get ready for the next meeting, Thursday night.
Thank you.
You're not getting strong. I know that. But this is out of Dan's office, isn't it?
Well, you know how I stand, so work on it.
He's trying to, no, he said it was going to take a while. Keep going.
I'm on candy camera. The YouTube's still on.
Yeah, I should put a key in here for that camera.
Oh, probably wouldn't hurt, yeah.